A very warm welcome to you. Glad to be back here with you on the program. We remain your source for all the latest development in the world of business. I am Susan Obiako. You are warmly welcome. On our lineup this week, first we join Face and her guest, Prince Babatunde Oguntade, the 22nd President and Chairman of Council, Nigeria Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, NCRIB, on the CEO rendezvous for the concluding part of their incisive session, where they looked at a wide range of issues in the insurance industry. Speaking in the course of the interview, Prince Oguntade noted that brokers are blameless in the controversy of rate cutting in the insurance industry. To take a listen.
If I go to company A with a ridiculous rate, as they said, he says no. I go to company B, up to company Z, and nobody's collecting. Will I go and eat the business? Do I turn myself into an underwriter? Then I now know that the rate is not available. See, what we call it in insurance is offer to treat. I give you an offer. I have profiled a risk. I now tell you, for this risk, there are peculiarities that should make you pay, that should make you accept lower premium.
On this edition also, we bring you highlight from the Power Sector Seminar organized by the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry Power Sector Group at the Commerce House in Lagos. The focus of the seminar was the Lagos State Electricity Law. In attendance was the Honorable Commissioner, Lagos State Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Mr. Biodun Ogunleye, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, President LCCI, Mr. Osayin Iyahe, Senior Director, Energy at the African Finance Corporation, and a host of others. It was quite engaging. Let's check out excerpts.
If we get power right in Lagos State, then we have the pathway to turbocharging Nigeria's economy and Nigeria's economic growth. That's why it's very, very important, this event that we're having today. Lagos State has signed its own electricity law, begun the implementation of that law. And we thought that it would be worthwhile to bring the man who's responsible for driving that implementation, who's responsible for bringing all of this into life, to come here today at the foremost Chamber of Commerce and Industry, engage with those who would also be responsible for collaborating with government to make this policy a success.
On behalf of the private business community, we want to assure you, Honorable Commissioner, that we are very, very, very ready to run with you to ensure that within the shortest possible time, financially and technically, that Lagos achieves universal power access for every individual or corporate or even social organization in Lagos.
We are not very strict on saying that everything must come from the grid. Yes, a strong grid is a must. But to address our issues from ground zero, we are going to be building on opportunities that are driven by both personal capital, so that all persons and businesses in the state can have what they need to survive, what they need to succeed, what they need to be able to say to themselves that they have been successful operating in the Lagos area.
These and many more are what we have for you on the lineup. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Details shortly. Please stay with us.
A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the CEO Rendezvous this week. Today, I have the honor and privilege to be sitting one-on-one with the 22nd President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, NCRIB. I'm talking about none other than Prince Babatunde Oguntade. Together, we'll be taking a look at his presidency thus far and other controversial issues in the Nigerian insurance industry. Thank you so very much, President.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Mr. President, another issue that I also want to talk about, would you also say that the entire industry is also on board when it comes to ensuring that premium that are provided in the budget are actually carried through? I asked this against the backdrop of what used to happen in the past. Brokers will go and negotiate certain business, speak to government, and before you know, you find direct underwriters going, and at the end of the day, what was supposed to come to the industry on a bigger scale is reduced by way of rate cutting and all of that. How do you ensure, or what do you think will play out this time around that will be different?
Well, thank God for NICOM. The current leadership of NICOM has been on its toes, and there are guidelines that speaks to how businesses are now profiled and gotten. And in the past, you are right, where people try to outdo each other. They were just looking at the bottom line of premium collection, but not at the adequacy of premium to be paid, among other things. But in recent times, particularly with this new regime at NICOM, there seems to be some measure of collaboration and understanding that has pushed that to barest minimum. Everybody now knows that it is in the collective interest of the industry for this industry to survive. You are not doing yourself any good. Let me speak to this way. 2023, we made about 730 something billion by the third quarter. I can tell you that by the third quarter of 2024, we had crossed the 1 trillion line by way of premium income. And because of the way NICOM and the industry have come together to agree that you cannot be dashing out your own income by way of rebates and think you are doing your competitor, you are actually shooting yourself in the leg. So you find that the industry is together, we are together on the same page, that if you go to company A and it maintains a very competitive rate, it goes to company B, then you now find out that, okay, I don't have to rate these people on the basis of premium anymore. Let me rate them on the basis of service and security that they offer. And I think that is what is going on now. Another thing that you will observe, that look at the NIIP undertaken by the NIA. That is duly supported by NICOM and NCRIB. So if you get any business as an underwriter, it doesn't go to you alone. You take a percentage of that business, the rest goes to everybody in the system. So you now know that we are building an industry that is supportive of each player. It's no longer, you can't even go, because now with IT and everything, it's so difficult for you to now undercut massively like people used to do. You know, gone are those days that people will say, hey, I'm offering you the cheapest rate. People, consumers too, are now wise. They price checks where your rate is abysmally low. They wonder, why is he doing this?
Is it that you won't pay the claim?
Is it that they won't pay the claim? And NICOM is watching you. There's on-time thing, real-time thing. As you do your input, they see. They wait for you. They will check your profitability. Now that people are being sanctioned, they are removed from boards, and they cannot practice in the industry in any capacity that relates to insurance. People are getting more serious. Management of those organizations, and it's not just the executive management. Now the board is involved. where a company fails, the entire board answers for it. Just that the level of culpability varies for those who are directly in charge and those who are just non-executive directors. NICOM is doing its bit, NCRIB is talking to its members, and I think NIA is doing compliance. It's not compliance, it's compliance.
Compliance.
You use your sense to comply.
Okay, President, so having said all this, will you confidently say now that the level of professionalism in the Nigerian insurance industry is at its peak?
Of course. The era of calling insurance legalized robbery is gone. Let me tell you. The NIA decided at the insurance committee, along with NICOM and NCRIB, that they will publish list of uncollected claims. Not unpaid though, uncollected claims. Never happened before. Now, you now have a situation that they are looking at the big data jointly. People are now sharing information. The brokers comply through the KYC thing. You must share information. You know, there were those days that people who company A, actually knew they go to company B because they know the company B is anxious to collect that bill. It's no longer like that. People have information about you. People have information. But before, we used to have the fear that somebody will grab my business, the other person will grab my business. But if you are offering service and your client is satisfied, of course, the client will want to listen once in a while to another competitor coming in with an offer. As long as what you are offering is about the best, and you're giving some measure of comfort, you know, beyond premium, there's this loyalty that people get from effective service. People will say, okay, although the premium is a bit higher, but I'm sure my claim will be paid. I'm sure this broker will be there. I'm sure this insurance company will pay. And brokers don't longer give business on the basis of paddy anymore, because if I give you business as my paddy and the claim fails, I have lost a client. And what we live by in the broking world is referrals. It's referrals. So the industry is on the same page as far as these things are concerned. Even the loss adjusters. You know, in those days, you used to struggle to know what the loss adjuster has written about a client's claim. These days, they offer you. You want to see the report? It's your right to see the report. So when you look at the adjuster showing you his report, so it shows there's no hanky-panky. Sometimes you find an adjuster and the underwriter that has appointed him disagreeing. You understand? Those days, it used to be adjuster. It's like they tell the adjuster what to write. But it's no longer like that. We want an industry that will be on autopilot by way of growth. An industry that people will believe in. An industry where people will walk into your office to say, we want to buy insurance. You know, in this industry, we are still struggling to sell insurance. We are still selling, we are still struggling. Insurance is not bought, it's sold. People don't buy. It is either the broker or the agent who struggles to make a meal ticket out of his or her practice that pushes the sale of insurance. But people have not waiting to elevate the practice to a level that people will wake up and say, my insurance is going to expire. He quickly does a budget, even if it's a post-dated check. I know it will expire on the 15th. This is my check. On the 15th, please place my check. Then you find your people calling you, see, I've just added an asset I want to add it to the inventory of assets that I have with you. That has not happened in a large scale. And that's the way it should be. People will take life policies and say, I need to upgrade the sum assured of my life policy because I've just taken a new wife, who should be additional beneficiary, or I've just had a set of twins. So that value, that sum assured, payable on my debt or whatever, I want to increase it. Those things have not started to happen generally. And that is where the industry should go. With the right indices of service, integrity, and professionalism. All of this will come together to manifest. And I'm sure the insurance industry, given the potential that it has now, good regulatory command, willingness on the part of operators and market players to collaborate, and the right ambience of the economy. The economy is the final thing, where people cannot afford to pay to buy 3 square meals or get 3 square meals. You find that insurance remains the very last thing on their agenda of purchases. So we are good.
Okay, sir. Before now, on this issue of rate cutting, I've engaged some brokers and they will tell you there's nothing like rate cutting. What I consider profitable for me as business A is different from what you might consider profitable as business B. But sometimes you also hear the argument on the part of underwriters that it is brokers that sometimes twist them into giving ridiculous rates because they want those businesses at all costs. And they know if they don't collect those businesses at the rates a broker is offering them, somebody else will collect the business. So
you now see somebody lying. If nobody else collects the business from me, will I underwrite the business?
No.
That should answer your question. If I go to company A with a ridiculous rate, as they said, he says no. I go to company B, up to company Z, and nobody's collecting. Will I go and eat the business? Do I turn myself into an underwriter? Then I now know that the rate is not available. See, what we call it in insurance is offer to treat. I give you an offer. I have profiled a risk. I now tell you, for this risk, there are peculiarities that should make you pay, that should make you accept lower premium. And I next explain the peculiarities to you. Let's take the commonest of them, motor insurance. You know, the more expensive a car is, the more likelihood that it cannot be stolen as a whole. But they could steal the accessories. I now profile the risk in such a way that for this loss, this is impossible. It's impossible for this to be stolen. So let's assume that the worst that could happen to it is pilferage of accessories, fire, and accident. And I now say, I want you to give me 50% discount. That was what was playing out before the advent of standardization of premium rate at 5%. And that was why you could find people going as low as 3%. This car is worth 700 million naira. How many Nigerians can afford, even if the man takes it to black market to sell at 100 million, how many people will buy from him? And those cars have their own VIN that there's no way you can alter them. So you now know that the thought of complete loss through theft is out of it. So what percentage of the premium computation accounts for premium for theft? Do you understand? I'm just trying to tell you some of the underwriting considerations that used to play out. But people now abused it. You find an everyday car like a Toyota Corolla. People are applying the same rate that they saw somebody apply on a Range Rover, on that car. That car that is being stolen like fish in the market. That car that is an everyday car anywhere. How many Corollas would you need to stop? They say they've just stolen a Corolla. Do you know how many Corollas will fly this area? But when they say they've stolen maybe a Range or a Lexus 600 or all those kind of high-profile cars, the police may stay on the road for one day and not one will pass.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we now bring you highlight from the 2025 Power Sector Seminar, where the focus was on Lagos State electricity law at the Commerce House, Victoria Island. Happy viewing.
get power right in Lagos State, then we have the pathway to turbocharging Nigeria's economy and Nigeria's economic growth. That's why it's very, very important, this event that we're having today. Lagos State has signed its own electricity law. It's begun the implementation of that law. And we thought that it would be worthwhile to bring the man who's responsible for driving that implementation, who's responsible for bringing all of this into life, to come here today at the foremost Chamber of Commerce and Industry, engage with those who would also be responsible for collaborating with government to make this policy a success. And then we can ask him the questions that are important to us directly. It would also be laying bare to us what that plan is. What are the elements of that plan that we may not have read in the papers, that we may not have seen on TV. So today is an opportunity for the Honorable Commissioner to lay bare the plan for us. And it's also an opportunity for us to ask questions. If this is going to be a success, and I believe it will be a success, it will be a collaboration between the government and private sector players. And that's obviously is what this event provides us, that platform for us to start the foundation or build the foundation for that collaboration.
On behalf of the private business community, we want to assure you, Honorable Commissioner, that we are very, very, very ready to run with you to ensure that within the shortest possible time, financially and technically, that Lagos achieves universal power access for every individual or corporate or even social organization in Lagos. That all uninterrupted power in Lagos should become taken for granted within a very short time. And again, as chairman of our power group has said, we believe that in Lagos we have what it takes for it to happen once we have the legal empowerment. So it's my pleasure to host this event, but I want to emphasize that this is what we're looking forward to. On our part in LCCI, we have started to walk the talk. This building is now, the first phase of the solar power for this building is completed, and most of the essential services in this building going forward are running uninterrupted 24/7 by solar.
We are not very strict on saying that everything must come from the grid. Yes, a strong grid is a must. But to address our issues from ground zero, we are going to be building on opportunities that are driven by both personal capital, so that all persons and businesses in the state can have what they need to survive, what they need to succeed, what they need to be able to say to themselves that they have been successful operating in the Lagos area. Now, how do we now make this sustainable for all? If it's not a standalone system, power will be produced, transmitted, and consumed in an environment that supports a carbon-free and least cost value chain. So, breaking down the mission statements into 4 distinct parts. The first part is strong market institutions. The second part is appropriate market tools. The third part is value chain capacity that is perfect for and suited for purpose. And the last part is being able to attract the investment that is required. And all of that will build on strong policy instruments, the integrated resource plan, and the strategic implementation plans.
That's the time on the program this week. Join us again next week for a fresh package. In the meantime, feel free to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Almond Finance TV. Make sure to click on the bell icon to stay up to date with our latest videos. I am Susan Obiako. Until next time, from the entire team, is a goodbye.